driver list, right? I just made an Excel sheet, but all this information is on their CDL driver's license, which is correspondingly the next thing that they need, a copy of their driver's license. Yeah, and CDL is for truck and trailers that have a GVWR, gross vehicle weight ratio, of 26,000 pounds or more. If it's anything smaller, a CDL is not required, just an operator. Right, let's go back to full screen. But Donovan, yeah, I sent you the link, you and Angelique, the link on Google, and with that credit card authorization form. If you guys could both fill that out, I have no issue sending you the PowerPoint, but I'm gonna send it with an NDA, if that's okay.
Okay.
Because I trust you both, and I don't believe you'll do that, but you got to be careful, like.
Mm-hmm. How you send it to us on Google?
Or it'll be a Google link, or I can send it as a PowerPoint, whatever y'all prefer.
Okay. Google link is cool.
Okay. I have a non-CDL box truck with a lift gate. I got more drivers texting me, but we'll save all that till tomorrow. That's okay with you in the morning?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll make a list of who we can start calling. We're interested. But yeah, this driver list, this driver license, all this stuff you should already have, right? Which you do on your website anyway. Their records of duty. So this is what we talked about yesterday, Angelique, their ELD, or I can't remember which of you brought it up, but the electronic logging device. You can use paper logs if they're operating within a certain mileage. But again, if you do, you just want to make sure that information matches the BOL and the rate confirmation, because they're going to want to check all of that. Right. And again, record of duty is important because it tracks the mileage, how far the driver is operating, and then how many hours they're working, how many hours they're driving. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking for yesterday.
Yes. Again, I'll send this to you guys because I know it is a lot of information. I'm not going to read through it, but you guys definitely can if you want to, whenever we're not online. This is an example of paper logs. This is the one that I got directly from our audit agent. And it's all of the information that the driver should know. So the moment they hop in the truck and turn it on and hit the gas pedal, that's their start time. Their end time is whenever they end or they park for the day, whether it's at a yard or at their home. You want to mark the total hours that they're on the road. And then he also needs to know how long he's driving for. So there's going to be times where he has to hook up or unhook the trailer. He's filling up with fuel for 30 minutes. He may have to use the bathroom, or he's getting unloaded right at a warehouse. Even though his time on duty may be 14 hours, his drive time should never be more than 11, right? At least in a day. I mean, it can be if you're operating within a 150-mile air radius, but still, that's a full day for a driver. And then their truck and trailer number, which could just be 11, and then their headquarters. Where's the yard? Or where does the driver park the truck every night? But this has to be done. This is like per month, right? So a date, this would be 1 month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would have to do this. The driver should have to do this every day if they don't have an ELD. Yes. Any questions, you guys feel free to shout them out.
Where'd you get this from again? This example?
Our auditor, our FMCSA auditor.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And like I said, all this stuff, because I know we're only on day 3. All this stuff, I have no issue sending it to you. I just need you guys to fill out that NDA and then leave a review. But there are people who will like charge for this, which I kind of do charge for this. So I have a carrier compliance course, but it's not just this. It's the PowerPoint. It's the drug consortium. It's how to do the FMCSA authority. Like, it's not just the forms that they give me, because some people will charge you for this, but like the agents have to give it to you for free. But I know it's probably not online. If you look up paper log, I don't know if it'll have these exact titles, because you can buy them on like Amazon or even at truck stops. They have paper logs, but I'm going to trust what the agent gave me, right? Like, I'm going to go with what the US DOT officer wants me to fill out. So if I know I need this, if I have this, I should be good. But yeah, this is by the month. This is every month, every time they're on the road. So if there's a day they're not operating, just scratch that line out or leave it blank, right? Their motor vehicle record. So you can get this from the state DMV that the driver's license was operated or obtained in. So I'd go to the Texas DMV website and I would get my driver's motor vehicle record. All I'd have to do is answer a few verification questions, which I had them on the phone for, type in their driver's license information, and then each one I think was like $12 to $20. It depends how far back you go. So you can ask for the recent year, you can ask for the last 3 years, or since their entire time, and that's the difference in price. That's the difference in price. But the price varies also state to state. This is an example of our MVR. Well, not mine specifically, but anyone in the US. Let me see if I can find one. Because some of them have like locks on them. No. Audit. Because I had to get each driver's MVR, even if they weren't with the company. This one. Is it this one? Yeah, and MVR stands for motor vehicle record. Motor vehicle record. So this is from the Texas Department of Safety, right? The DMV website that I purchased this from. I got a 3-year history record because I just wanted to be safe. This type of record does not reflect the completion of a driving safety course. It reflects convictions, crash involvements that are displayed by law. So this is for a driver that's no longer with us. His name was Wesley. All I did was type in his driver's license, name, number, and his birthday, and then answer a few verification questions. Luckily, he was willing to cooperate over the phone. Our other driver wasn't. He was kind of petty, but I was able to pass the what was it, the spam or the bot thing, and this is his MVR. So it states his medical certificate information, if he ever failed anything, if he ever received a waiver, I don't know, administrative status information. Yeah, he's eligible, but there's no history of events because he never failed anything. But all of them pretty much look the same because all my drivers are licensed in Texas.
So those in Georgia are anywhere between $6 to $8.
Okay.
Online, in person, or through the mail and get those.
Yes, yes. And see, that's why, like, and I think we talked about this a little bit, Angelique, when we first started. Like, you've already done a lot of this stuff. It's just been with the dealership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know how to do it. But you were with a few others before you're at the one now. You started at the one now. Yeah. Yeah, girl, you got this. That's something that's very valuable that you could offer to drivers, because stuff like that they don't know how to do.
What is that?
The MVR.
Oh, okay,
how to find an MVR, and you just go to the state DMV website. But yeah, the price does vary. I know it's never free. So let's go back to the compliance. You're also going to need their medical certificate. So this is what they're required to take a medical exam while they're at CDL school anyway. But it's going to basically be the certificate of where they did their most recent drug tests, or wherever they did their most recent breathalyzer. Let me see. I should have a copy of that too. DMV. Let me see. Medical. Look, y'all, I gotta find it. I have so much stuff. This one. No. Sorry, y'all. I want you guys to see what it looks like. I think I have a sample in here. Yeah, it's just a checkbox. And again, the physician will fill this out. It's a certificate stating that they have good vision, they have good health. Them driving, being behind the wheel is detrimental to everyone else's safety that's on the road. I know I sent it to Eugene. All right, give me a second, because I'm showing you guys our personal information, like our personal audit, but the PowerPoint's just going to have the examples. Just the general examples. Employment inquiry, drug and alcohol. Okay, here it is. So a certificate that we were enrolled in that consortium, and then certified medical review, right? So all the tests they've done, this was for pre-employment. Yeah, that's why I had these, because they've done some since we've been audited and even before. But pre-employment, they have to be drug tested before they start working and they get behind that wheel.
So what if they fail a drug test?
Then they're not hired. If any of these results are positive, they're not hired. But see, this one looks a lot different than this one. So it could be, the layout could vary depending on the physician. But if they fail, they just can't be hired. It doesn't mean you'll fail the audit. It just shows this guy filled out an application, he did a pre-employment, and he failed. So yeah, screen cutoff. He had some marijuana, right? Look, it was positive. I don't know. I can't tell. This was his physician. All of them have different physicians, though. Dana, or wait, maybe Dana is the consortium. All of them went to different places. I know that. Y'all didn't go to the same places. They went somewhere on this list. But this consortium, they keep all that paperwork in check. If the USDOT requests an audit and they don't reach out to me, which my agent should, but the consortium will let me know. But all of them are negative. All of them are negative, so that's good. But looks a lot different than the example. The next thing you'll need, so everything we just discussed was referring to the drivers. You want to make sure, who is this? 505? Albuquerque. I didn't answer. You want to make sure.
Do dispatchers have to take a drug test too?
No. Brokers don't either. Only if you're operating a vehicle. Even non-TDL drivers have to take drug tests though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even on TDL. Everything we just discussed was referring to the drivers, but now I want to focus on the trucks, right? Because the driver is the most valuable piece of this material, but the truck is just as important too. They have to make sure they know how to do pre-trip inspections. They're checking for low fluids, bare bald tires, any lights on the dash, right? And that has to be performed before each and every trip. So vehicle compliance, you're going to do the same exact thing we did with the driver and make an Excel sheet or a spreadsheet of a vehicle list, which just states the truck and trailer number, the VIN of that truck, the license plate, state and number of that truck, the make, model, and year. And I believe I have that too. Again, it's just in an Excel sheet. You're also going to make sure you have a list of the vehicle inspections. So each of these, just like how the drivers have to be tested, so do the trucks and trailers. Trucks and trailers have to have vehicle inspections at least once a year, right? Just to make sure the rust isn't corroding. And like I said, it's not a danger to anyone else who's on the road. So this is an example of our vehicle inspection. Ours pretty much look the same though. You guys have seen the difference in documents. It really just depends on where they're going and who's filling it out. But it'll basically, the officer will just check off everything that's adequate and then sign and date on the bottom. As long as it's within a year of the audit, then it's a pass. Hazardous material shipping papers are required if your driver is insured for hazardous material and is hauling it. So for example, hazardous materials, they also require special decals, signage on the truck, stickers on the dash, and then again, that extra layer of insurance coverage. So these shipping papers, they're given to the driver once he's on site in addition to the BOL. And they just state that the material has to be either held at a certain temperature, transported at a certain speed, and everything else, including the hazard class, how much of the material is loaded. It's a little bit of a hold on, I gotta call him back. Hold on one second. I'm gonna text this broker back. He's gonna be mad I didn't call him, but I don't care. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta text this broker back. I don't wanna put him on hold any longer. Let me see. So which one got picked up? The second one. 0829-358. 0829-358 is loaded. I'm confirming the other now. Okay, that should hold them off. Like, I don't know why it's not gonna matter. This is an example of the hazardous material shipping papers. And yeah, it'll just be an overview of everything we just discussed. It'll have special instructions. There's always a 24-hour emergency contact on site. So if they get in an accident, something starts spilling, he smells something corrosive or like acidic, there's always someone that can call that will have someone come out and help the drivers. And then optional proof of insurance. I mean, I always encourage it, but it's not technically on the checklist for audits or agents because it's required to be active per the FMCSA anyway. So if they didn't have insurance, they wouldn't be authorized to haul, which means they wouldn't be audited because they're not authorized or they shouldn't be operating anyway. And if they do get caught or if they do get in an accident and they are unauthorized, then it's just a crap show. They could face jail time, fees, fines, court charges, a bunch of other stuff. The drug and alcohol program, that's, again, the consortium that we were looking at earlier, that's Express Labs. Drivers are required to do pre-employment screenings. Anytime they have an accident, they have to take a drug test. When there's any reasonable suspicion, if they're falling asleep at the wheel, veering off the road, or any other reason, right? Or through a random testing, if the carrier has 2 or more drivers, which we do, we have 4. And these drug tests, they're for marijuana, but they could also be for prescription pills. Alcohol, or anything else that could be seen as a detriment to a driver's health.
So they can't drink at all?
They can, my driver can drink. So his birthday is actually tomorrow. So they can drink. It just has to be after a drug test, you know,
Okay.
or on the weekends or after hours. So I encourage all drivers to do a reset, which is normally like 34 hours. That's like a day and a half. And that's where they're not behind the wheel at all. But they don't have to. They don't have to. And then an accident registry, this is only if they get in an accident. So this report is kind of like the paper log we were looking at. It goes over the date, the location, right? City, state, address, if there were any deaths, non-fatal injuries, if it was a hit or miss, and then the driver's name. And then, of course, there has to be insurance on file, right? As soon as that happens, whether it's hazmat, your commercial, you want to make sure you contact everyone. And that's why they hire you as a dispatcher, so you can take care of that after hours if it does happen. If it does happen. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this PowerPoint. The last thing I have to do is just call my driver and let him know that I scheduled him an appointment on Friday.